Making a task list is one thing, but determining which ones to prioritize first can be overwhelming, especially if you have a lot on your plate or if you're all of a sudden bombarded with extra unexpected tasks. Today, I'm going to share with you a super simple system that will allow you to understand how to best prioritize your task so that you can get to work today. My name is Winnie Standish, and I have built my successful businesses utilizing hard work and dedication. You know that I am a huge fan of the bullet journal system. I have done lots of videos on this subject that I definitely invite you to check out. However, even the best of systems can fail, especially if all of a sudden you're bombarded with a bunch of tasks and all of a sudden your list is a mile long. It's important that we know how to prioritize those tasks when they become abundant. And today I'm going to show you a super simple way that you can prioritize your task within minutes. And you can do it both in a digital way and in an analog, think pen and paper way, so that both users who prefer one over the other have an opportunity to follow along today. All right, now comes the fun part. It's time to figure out how do we prioritize this mile-long task list that we have. And we're gonna use Excel for this exercise, but you can also use Google Sheets. And of course, I have created a template for you already. So if you prefer to just grab my version and get started right away, you can go on my website and you can grab this free template that I've made available to you. So you're gonna start a list by starting an Excel spreadsheet. And the first thing that I want you to do is just set up two boxes in two columns, one called priority and one called task. And once you have those two boxes, it's time to add your task list. And I've already pre-filled mine out, but this is now your turn to add your whole task list. Now, don't just add your work task list. I want you to also add your personal stuff, because at the end of the day, when we're prioritizing what to do, it is important that we also remember that our personal life has a lot going on, and that should definitely not be taken out of the list. So add it all. I've added laundry, walking the dog, you will see the full list. So write all your tasks down, and once you have all your tasks in here, it's time to figure out how we prioritize them. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna give every single one of these tasks a number based on when it is due. And we've set up some pre-criteria for that, and you can customize these, but I recommend that you start with mine if you've never done this before, and then later on you can customize them depending on how it feels right for you. So the very first thing we're gonna look at is what is the priority criteria. So a number one means that the task is due in less than 48 hours. That is an urgent task. If it has a number two, it is due in 2 to 5 days. If we give it a 3, it's due in 6+ days. And if it has a 4, it's due in more than 30 days. So we're gonna go through this whole list and we're gonna give it a priority. And we're gonna see here, okay, when is laundry due? It's not due in 48 hours, but I am gonna give it a 2 because chances are if my kids run out of laundry, it's not gonna be as much fun. So that's definitely gonna be a task coming up. How about printing homework for my kids' home assignment tomorrow? Well, if it's due tomorrow, that makes it a priority, and that means it needs to be given a 1. Same thing for walking the dog, that needs to be done every single day or he will not be a happy camper. But what about the end of month budgeting? Well, right now, let's pretend it's the middle of the month. And if it is, and it's not due until the end of the month, that means it gets a priority number 3 because it's due in more than 6 days. So we're just gonna go through this whole list and I'll just give it some numbers here depending on what I feel is the correct priority for my life here. And once all of these numbers have been filled out, it's time to work the magic. All right, so in order to work the magic for this one and to figure out what is actually due here, we're gonna go up and we're gonna highlight this whole template, all the priorities and all the tasks. And then we're gonna go up to this function here called sort and filter. And when we hit the filter button, these little buttons on the right-hand side gets added to our top list. And if we go in and we click the priority button, you can see that we have the option of selecting all or just some. So I'm gonna select all to deselect it, and then I'm only gonna select the priority number 1 because those were the ones that were due in less than 48 hours. And then I'm gonna click out of this box. And guess what? All of a sudden, I have my task list showing me exactly what is due in the next 48 hours. And if you find that this task list is super long, I would recommend that you tighten your criteria a little bit. But this is a great starting point because now you have your list and you know exactly what you need to tackle. And you can also add this task list directly back into your bullet journal now that you've already prioritized it. Or you can keep it here and just get started on it. And don't forget, I have already made this template for you. So all you have to do is jump over to my website. The link is below in the show notes, and that will allow you to get started on prioritizing your task list immediately instead of setting it up for yourself. If you're currently enjoying this video, I would love it if you could like it and subscribe for more great content. And please leave me a comment below and tell me, how do you currently prioritize your task? If you prefer to use a pen and paper to prioritize your task, this is a great way of doing it. And I'm going to show you exactly how. All you need is some sort of ruler so that you can make a straight line in your book. And I want you to dedicate a completely new page for this. And then make a line down the middle. When you have this line, you're going to add a bunch of tasks that you have going on. And this is any task. You should be adding your personal tasks, you should be adding your business task, whatever it is. Once you have all of your tasks written down, this is when we need to determine when they are due. And we're going to set up a really simple system for ourselves. So for example, if a task is due in less than 48 hours, we're going to give it a number 1. If it's due in 2 to 5 days, we're going to give it the number 2. And if it's due in more than 6 days, we're going to give it a number 3. And finally, if it's due in more than 30 days, we're going to give it the number 4. Once you have your full task list written down, you're going to go through every single one and give it a number based on that criteria. So for example, laundry. I don't need it today, but I do need it in the next couple of days. So I'm going to give that a 2. And how about grocery shopping? Well, again, I'm not out of everything right now. I probably have about a week still, so I'm going to give that one a 3 because it's not due for 6 or more days. End of month budgeting. Ooh, we're getting pretty close to the end of the month. Definitely a priority that needs to be done in the next 48 hours. So I'm going to give that a 1. File my taxes. I already done that for the year, so that's not actually due until next year. So I'm going to give that a 4 because that's due in more than 4 days. Walking the dog, absolutely due immediately, every single day. Review my kids' homework, yes, absolutely, every single day. And writing a content for a new episode, well, it's not due in the next 48 hours, but I should definitely get on it. So I'm gonna give that one a 2. Once you have your full task list, I want you to dedicate a color for each numbered task. So for example, all the ones I'm gonna highlight with green. So I'm just gonna quickly go through my list here, find all the number 1s and highlight them with green. And then same thing for number 2. I'm gonna highlight all of those with this lovely pink color. Perfect. And number 3, I'm gonna give that a nice orange. And finally, the number 4s, I'm gonna give that a nice purple. And this will allow you to very quickly see what tasks are due immediately. Because remember, all the ones were the ones that were due in the next 48 hours. And once you have them fully listed, you can go on and you can start a brand new page, and you can write all your ones on one page, twos on another, and so forth. And that will allow you to have a really clear overview of what is due immediately and what can wait till later on. My name is Winnie Standish, and I hope you have enjoyed today's episode and that you now know exactly how to best prioritize your task. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more great content. And leave me a note below letting me know how you prioritize your task list. Have a positive day.